a veteran master taught a group of youthful students who lived in a far-off village situated among undulating hills. These enthusiastic youngsters had a strong curiosity in the traits and behaviors they should avoid, in addition to their eagerness to learn about wisdom. The boys were gathering under a large oak tree one evening as the sun was setting gently and casting golden hues across the sky. Seated in a circle, they had a lot on their minds and emotions concerning the traits and actions that did not merit respect. Lisa, a boy, raised his voice and said, "Master, we have studied a lot about the characteristics of a knowledgeable and moral person. However, could you tell us about the characteristics and deeds we should avoid? People who don't merit our regard." The teacher nodded and started imparting his knowledge with his serene demeanor. "Respecting someone is about acknowledging their positive qualities and virtues," he said. "However, it's just as important to understand what ought to be disregarded. Allow me to explain the 10 traits or behaviors that don't deserve your respect. Arrogance is the first trait that is unworthy of respect. Those that are arrogant exude an exaggerated sense of importance. They frequently despise others around them because they think they are better than them. They are unable to see the important lessons that can be gained from their peers and even from life itself because of their sense of superiority. Isolation can result from arrogance because others find it difficult to relate to or connect with someone who always projects an air of superiority. This seclusion can be harmful since it keeps individuals from encountering different viewpoints and developing a more comprehensive understanding of the world. Furthermore, conceit stunts personal development. People who believe they already know everything are less inclined to accept helpful criticism or actively seek out fresh information. The ability to admit that there is always more to learn and opportunity for development is the mark of true wisdom. Avoiding arrogance is a good idea because it not only impedes personal development but also blocks the possibility of deep connections and the insightful knowledge that can be acquired from others. The pupils of the master listened intently, wanting to know more. "Dishonesty is the second quality not to respect," he went on. "Being dishonest is a bad attribute to have since it shows a lack of credibility and integrity. When someone is dishonest, they frequently distort facts or events to further their personal agendas and don't speak the truth. Relationships can suffer greatly from this behavior's erosion of trust. In any kind of connection, be it professional, personal, or familial, trust is the cornerstone. When dishonesty is present, trust is compromised, and the foundation of the relationship weakens. Dishonesty not only affects trust, but also has a broader impact on the community and society at large. It can lead to a culture of deceit and dishonesty, making it harder for people to work together effectively, leading to misunderstandings, conflicts, and a lack of cooperation. Honesty is a virtue highly regarded and respected. Honest individuals are seen as reliable and trustworthy. Their words and actions align with truth and integrity, fostering strong bonds and healthy relationships. Therefore, dishonesty is a quality that should be recognized and avoided, as it undermines trust and the very fabric of our social connections. The third quality that deserves no respect, the master continued, is selfishness. It's an undesirable trait that we must recognize and strive to avoid. Selfish individuals have a tendency to put their own desires and needs above those of others. This self-centered behavior often results in harm to the people around them and, more broadly, leads to a lack of harmony and cooperation within their communities. Selfishness can manifest in various ways, such as someone who refuses to share, always insists on having their way, or constantly seeks personal gain without considering how it affects others. When we encounter selfishness in others or recognize it in ourselves, it's important to understand the negative consequences it can have. Selfish actions can erode trust and create conflicts, as they demonstrate a lack of concern for the well-being and feelings of others. In the long run, a community or group that tolerates and respects selfish behavior is likely to suffer from a lack of unity, cooperation, and genuine caring for one another. Therefore, by identifying and avoiding respect for selfishness, we can contribute to a more harmonious and considerate world where people prioritize the collective well-being over their individual desires. The Master's words resonated with a profound sense of wisdom as he continued. The fourth quality that one should not respect is cruelty. It is important to understand that cruelty refers to actions and behavior that deliberately inflict harm upon others, often causing significant pain and suffering. Compassion and empathy are qualities that should be extended to those who are in need, those who may be experiencing hardships or difficulties. These virtues reflect our capacity to understand and share the feelings of others, and they are qualities that deserve respect. On the other hand, cruelty stands in stark contrast to compassion. Cruel individuals intentionally engage in actions that bring about harm, whether it's physical, emotional, or psychological. This deliberate infliction of pain is morally wrong and ethically unacceptable. In the pursuit of wisdom and virtue, it is vital to recognize that cruelty has no place in a virtuous heart or a wise mind. Instead, we should strive to cultivate kindness, empathy, and compassion, for these are the qualities that lead to a more harmonious and just world. So remember, cruelty is a quality that should never be respected, and we should always seek to promote understanding, empathy, and kindness in our own lives. Continuing his lesson, the wise master moved on to the next point, stating, "The fifth quality that should not be respected is laziness." When we talk about laziness, we're referring to individuals who lack the drive and motivation to make the most of their abilities and, in turn, fail to contribute positively to society. Respect is a precious sentiment that should be reserved for those who consistently and diligently put in the effort. Laziness is essentially a reluctance to exert oneself or a consistent avoidance of work and responsibility. It's not merely a momentary desire to relax or take a break, those can be healthy and necessary, but rather an ongoing habit of neglecting one's duties and ambitions. When we respect individuals, we acknowledge their virtues, efforts, and contributions. People who embody hard work and dedication are often those who drive progress, inspire others, and create positive change in their communities. On the other hand, those who exhibit laziness tend to squander their potential and, by extension, miss opportunities to make a meaningful impact on the world. To respect laziness would be to endorse a disposition that runs counter to the very values that make individuals and societies prosper. It's not about disregarding people who might be temporarily resting or recharging. It's about recognizing that respect should be primarily directed toward those who exhibit the determination and commitment to reach their full potential and contribute constructively to the greater good. Continuing with his teachings, the Master's voice remained steady and composed as he addressed the next point. The sixth quality that should not be respected is close-mindedness, he said. Individuals who exhibit this trait tend to shut themselves off from considering different perspectives or new ideas, and in doing so, they hinder not only their own personal growth, but also the progress of their communities. Open-mindedness, on the other hand, is a virtue that promotes understanding, creativity, and unity, while close-mindedness is a trait that obstructs these essential qualities. He went on to explain in great depth, close-minded individuals are often unwilling to entertain ideas or viewpoints that differ from their own. They create mental barriers that prevent the exchange of knowledge and the exploration of diverse thoughts. This can lead to stagnation and a lack of progress, both for the individual and the collective group they are a part of. In essence, close-mindedness closes the door to potential growth and enlightenment. Conversely, open-mindedness is a quality that fosters the free flow of ideas and promotes a spirit of learning and cooperation. When people are open to new perspectives, they can engage in constructive discussions, solve problems more effectively, and adapt to changing circumstances. This openness enables them to embrace the richness of diversity, learn from others, and build stronger, more harmonious communities. The master warned the young lads against respecting narrow-mindedness, since it stunts development and impedes the advancement of both people and their societies. Rather, they ought to strive for the cultivation of open-mindedness as a desirable trait that promotes better communication, teamwork, and individual growth. The master continued, "The seventh quality to avoid respecting is envy. Envy is a deeply ingrained emotion in some individuals. It's when you harbor bitterness or discontent towards others' successes, possessions, or advantages. This feeling can be a destructive force in one's life, leading to negativity and hampering personal growth. Envy often arises when we compare ourselves to others and find ourselves lacking in some way. It can be a painful emotion because it not only makes you resent someone else's good fortune, but also robs you of your own joy and contentment. When you allow envy to fester, it can lead to a host of negative consequences. It can strain relationships, as envy often makes us act in ways that are unkind or unsupportive of others. It can also undermine your self-esteem and confidence, as constantly measuring yourself against others can make you feel inadequate. Moreover, envy can be a significant barrier to personal development and growth. It distracts you from your own goals and aspirations, as you're too preoccupied with what others have achieved. Instead of using their success as motivation, envy can turn it into a source of frustration and self-doubt. In essence, respecting envy means recognizing its toxic nature and making a conscious effort to steer clear of it. Instead of allowing envy to control your thoughts and actions, it's better to channel your energy into self-improvement, setting your own goals, and celebrating the successes of others without resentment. This path leads to a more positive and fulfilling life, devoid of the negativity that envy can bring. The master's wisdom was absorbed by the attentively listening master students. That evening, they departed with a more profound comprehension of the behaviors and attributes they ought to shun in their life. They were better able to walk the road of virtue and wisdom after learning this. The master's lessons caused a significant shift in the students' comprehension as they processed them. They understood that eschewing these 10 traits and behaviors was equally important as valuing knowledge and discernment. With their thoughts clearer and their hearts lighter, they departed the meeting that evening with this knowledge. The students started putting the master's advice into practice in the days that followed. They discovered that by disregarding these undesirable traits, they made room for understanding, compassion, and personal development. Their feeling of purpose was revitalized, and their ties with one another grew stronger. Thus, the students were led on the path of virtue and enlightenment by the old master's teachings, which never ceased to inspire them. Please remember to provide your support if you found this story to be inspirational. Kindly click the like button, forward this to your friends, and think about subscribing to receive more inspiring and peaceful moments. We can walk the path of wisdom and enlightenment together because of your engagement, which drives our journey. We appreciate your participation in our community. I'm glad to hear that you appreciated the response. Your feedback is valuable to me, and I'm here to help with any additional questions or requests you might have. Whether you need further elaboration on a topic, assistance with a specific project, or guidance on any other matter, please don't hesitate to reach out. Your engagement is what makes this interaction meaningful, and I'm here to provide the support and information you need. Thank you for your trust, and I look forward to assisting you further. Thanks for watching.